Hello everyone, I'm melting. How about you? Love it. If you're first time here, my name is Miro. Welcome to my channel. It is very hot here week in Serbia. The order of the words are not English not present. I'm broken. The heat is actually boiling my brain. It is very hot this past week. We've had about 35 degrees of Celsius, which I actually never know how much this is in Fahrenheit. It is 95 in Fahrenheit, which I understand is not the worst. It can definitely get over 100 of Fahrenheit here. It can be 40 Celsius. Not an issue, but it is quite hot because last week we needed to wear long sweatshirts and I packed everything away, so I had to take some stuff out, and this week it's like 35. So it was lovely. It's a lovely week. I enjoy every single part of it. I am just like wilting away like a Hoene Husie in this heat. And my Hoene Husie is also wilting away. A joke that's not a joke, but the truth. I am going to tackle this big shelf here. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done with this shelf. I want to repurpose it. Well, it's not repurpose it. It is the intentional purpose from the moment I extended this shelf for it to be for terrariums, for begonias, and for the top level to serve for Hoya most likely, or orchids. I also did get a new orchid this week. I'm not buying plants, but I've been looking for this one for quite some time. It is fragrant. It is just such a fantastic freaking fragrance. Oh, it's a beautiful pink flower, very cute. Maybe not the most special. I think it's kind of like a summer bloomer cross, but the leaves are magnificent. It is one of the, I believe, Schilleriana crosses. And I found this in a regular flower store. I am in love. This most likely has a name, so I have to look that up. It will need a repot eventually, but for now we're just gonna leave it here. Oh my goodness, it is absolutely magnificent. I can't even begin to tell you how fantastic the smell is. It's not very strong, it's a refreshing florally scent. But anyway, today is not about the scents. We want to rework this entire shelf. I will show you what the shelf currently looks like. We need to repot some begonias. I'm going to show you how my begonias have been doing. We also have a box of begonias that I recovered at the same time as I recovered the ones that were in Ratsta. But because they were in low light all this time, they didn't really grow much, so we need to provide space for them, which we're going to do today. And it's going to be probably a long video. I kind of want to keep it short, like half an hour, but it's probably going to be long. Things are going to get out of hand. We just know it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me show you what the shelf currently looks like. So we need to change the angle. The thrips on my terrarium are reappearing, and I put my coffee there, so I pray they fall into my coffee so I can drink the thrips. I'm evil. Okay, so the light is probably not going to be the most terrific, nor the most flattering. As we know, this sort of has this part that works as a desk, and this part is foldable. I very rarely work here because I either have plants on this desk or I have plants in front of my shelf which are preventing me from opening this desk, but let's hope that's gonna change in the future. So very rarely do we use this as a desk, but potentially one day, we all can hope. So I'm gonna put it away. I did mess up the board with plants and stuff, as we knew I would. We have here one of the 3 terrariums. It is empty. This one needs to be washed. It had my epicenias in here, which are most of them are dead, I think. What I noticed some root mealybugs kind of spread here because I introduced some begonias that have not been properly isolated, and I went in to treat them, and I treated them with hydrogen peroxide, and I killed off the leaves. The roots, some are maybe fine, maybe they will recover, I don't know, but I definitely killed off all the leaves because I used undiluted hydrogen peroxide, which is fine for Hoya and orchids, but apparently, most definitely, not for Epicea. So I think one of them is alive, which is a shame, but you know, you live and you learn. That's all I can say. So I need to get this very, very thoroughly cleaned because I will need to put some begonias in here. So, has heavy lids. The lids is from two parts in these terrariums because I did, initially when I built this, well, I didn't build it. I ordered the glass maker in my town to build it, and they were about 25 or 30 euros, something like that. $30, so that's the most accurate price. They build the lid from one part because that's what I asked, and pretty quickly, within a month, I broke. It was just too heavy. It was just too heavy, so I broke it as I was opening and closing it. So as we see, this looks very nasty. It needs a very thorough wash. I might break it. We don't know. We don't know. I'll try not to. So I will just take it out and hope for the best. Oh boy. Okay. Well, that's heavy. Suddenly I regret this. So we can see she nasty. Very nasty. I still see a couple of root mealybugs which are about to die, which is fun. Love it. This is gonna get thoroughly washed. Hopefully it will be usable. I will use something heavier to clean it with. Maybe bleach. I do have bleach. Diluted, obviously. Something that will really just make this completely clean and scrub it with hot water and everything. Do not worry, I'm not going to show you this exciting development. We're taking down my gesneriad wall. As we can see, they're dry once again. They have been watered, but they get dry so quickly, especially now. I can't do it anymore. I cannot do it anymore. I will water all of them once again, take them down, water them. Then what I will do is I will cut them all, restart them because they all have root mealybugs. 100%. 100%. This lady has an issue and they all have root mealybugs. There's no doubt in my mind. So the gesneriad wall is leaving us. It's leaving us. This light is leaving us here. It's too strong for begonias. The terrarium will come back and I will probably put another shelf for another terrarium here. I was thinking maybe I should put orchids here on the wall, but the issue with that is I just think I need another shelf here because this light from the top, which I will use, again, the same light, it's 9 watts per piece. It doesn't reach the bottom where begonias will be. This light is too strong on the side. And if I put another light like the one at the top somewhere here, it's just gonna look ugly unless there is a shelf, which defeats the purpose of the whole wall. So unfortunately, this idea did not really work out. Now let's take a look at this corner. So what's the issue here? Well, the issue here is that every single day I have to open and close my window on top. This window. There is another window on the other side on top. They need to be open and closed every single day. This is why I removed a lot of the hanging plants here because they get in my way and this daily task becomes super annoying. If I put something tall here, even this orchid, that's tall enough. As I lean to open the window, I knock it over. I don't really have a solution for that here. I thought to put the terrarium up here because we have some terrariums on the bottom, which I will show you. But then the issue is I'll have to water across the terrarium, the who is in the window, right? And I can't put the terrarium in the window because in the winter it gets very cold in the window for begonias, in my opinion, and the light in summer can actually burn them because it did burn my Hoya multiflora, right? So we can't put the begonias in the window. It would be nice if we could just kind of line up all 3 terrariums, one here, one in the middle, and one all the way there, but we can't. One solution is to kind of go with taller plants here away from the window and then, you know, have smaller ones here. Or I think what I could do is I could just put a rope here that is just gonna keep the plants in place. I don't ever knock them over to this side. They go over there because there is like a small gap between the shelf and the window, and then I can't get to them. It's very like difficult and annoying. I have to find a pot for this beautiful cascading phalaenopsis, which needs to be watered again. Gorgeous. Isn't she stunning? Gosh, I'm so good. This does not live there. That rowing thing, the wheels, thing on the wheels. English, where are you? Are you gonna come today? The cart doesn't live there, but it might. It honestly might. So we see I have some plants here. They're not gonna stay, except for my Florida Beauty might remain there. I'm not sure. And that whoever to Salata might remain there. I'm thinking about making this like a place for my verticillata. I need to put Hoyas there that don't require tremendous amount of care. They don't require to be in higher humidity, that are resilient here as well. So I do have plants like that I wanted to take out of my tent. And then, you know, maybe we can install a light eventually here that's gonna work for Hoyas, because this is a northwest facing window. The Hoyas in the window don't really grow much because it's just not enough light for them. They bloom from time to time, but honestly, very rarely anything happens in that window, unless when the sun, for whatever reason, gets really hot and intense in the afternoon and then they burn. By the way, I didn't say to you, this is Ivar system from IKEA. I'm very good at content creation. On the bottom here, aside from the mess, we have two prop boxes of begonias, which I'm gonna show you, and the terrarium. These terrariums do have a flaw, a pretty big one, which also prevents me from putting them on the top. I will talk about that, of course, because it is gonna be a rant. And if we learned anything on this channel is that Miro likes a good rant. It's basically half rant, half human. And then the only part that currently looks acceptable is the part here. And those are looking so pretty. Oh my God, look at them, look at them. Okay, my face needs to F off. This is, by the way, let's just remove these. Can we see how beautiful these look? Maybe not. They are looking very, very pretty. There's no light here, so we need to install a light above them. I will talk which light, and I can show you these plants individually. We have a couple of the begonias blooming here, and then there. We'll get to them, but what a fantastic thing. I guess I can rant here for a moment. Do we accept the rant? Wow, what a beautiful giant forehead. So let's rant. The issue with this guy, this is not his first terrarium that he made for me. He made several. This is number 2 and 3, right? He made 2 at once, and he messed up the lid. I don't understand why, but he made the lids so short that it's very easy for the lid to fall. You really have to be careful about the lids, and plus, I think these are some scrap pieces that don't... Yeah, this is not rectangular at all, which is... I'm just noticing now that this is... Oh, it's crooked AF. This is crooked AF. Okay, well, nice. Anyway, these crooked AF pieces are just way too short, and it's very easy if you're not careful. I'm just gonna put my hand underneath. If you're not careful for this thing to fall in. See? There's like barely, and I think it's because it's crooked. I think it wouldn't be an issue if this wasn't crooked, but you can actually see here, there's barely any glass there. Barely any, right? It's holding on for its dear life. There is more glass here. And then if we look on the back, it's even. There and here, it's even. So I can move it a bit like this, because that's the overhang that I would like a little bit more. But then we are just very close on the other side. And it may not look like that, but if you just hit the shelf, which I frequently do, by the vibrations, this can easily fall in. So that sucks. Since we are here, I just want to show you the begonias. Beautiful queen constellation. The leaves are getting huge. This is another, I think I need to sell one of them. Chloristica, species Julau, and then a bunch of this, they always forget her name. And then this is also another one that I like. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at this one. Can you see she's blooming? So pretty. So we're gonna put a light here. The light isn't very strong. It is 9 watt and I only got 2 of them. So one here, one on the other side. We will not probably do anything with this terrarium, except I need to lighten it up, definitely. And that is just a topic for a different video. But we will work on the other ones and then I will show sort of the finished result. I don't expect this is going to all be complete today because I don't know that I'm ready to move the Hoyas out from the cabinet, from the tent too, because I'm still treating them for mealybugs and I just would like things not to spread. Wow, this is such a badly cut top. He did a perfect job with these other ones, which look identical to me. And yeah, they're perfect, honestly perfect. Thicker too, and bigger. I don't know why he messed up this other one. It's like, have you lost your mind? I don't think we're focusing on my face. It all looks blurry or I'm getting blind. Okay, I think it's focusing now on my face. I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, I'm going to show you how I connect the lights, how I wire the lights, but I'm not an electrician. I'm pretty sure this is all good, but I just need to put that disclaimer on there. I just look so much better without a forehead. And my head should end there. But my head should end here. That's where it should end. Okay, let's get going. First to clean and just this nasty terrarium to get it out of the way here, and then we're gonna do the lights, the repot, and maybe select some Hoyas for this shelf. So if you have something to do, you better start doing it now. Chop chop, let's all get going. We have not a lot of time to do this and a lot of heat. I love the summer, I live for it. Please Santa, come and get me. So these are the lights that we will be using for my begonias. These are just regular hardware store lights. They are 9 watts. They're nothing special really. I just thought some low-level lights will do for them. So this is essentially what the package looks like. You get one of these connectors, and then you will also need to buy these chandelier clamps. That's what we call them here, to essentially connect the wires. You will also need a wire that essentially corresponds to the plug that you got with the light, and also the plug that goes, of course, into the power socket. So as you can see, the adapter that I got for the lights, it has 3 wires. So one is the phase, one is the 0, and one is the ground. These are plastic lights, so I'm not really sure why does it need to be grounded, but okay. That means that I will have to cut essentially 3 of these pieces that are sort of joined together so I can connect the electrical wire to this. Of course, you need to unscrew the screws here, and then you can put in the wire there. Also, I like to prepare everything in advance, so I also just unscrew this plug because we will need to put the ends of the wire that I bought here. Now, I do cut this with like a scalpel or a knife. There is a tool to do this, and I do recommend you to get this tool because you can damage the wire underneath and then you will have to cut again, which does happen later for me too. And then essentially you will have 3 wires revealed, and you need to take off the plastic from them and then twist the wire before you can essentially put it in the chandelier clamp on one side, and on the other side there is the adapter from the light. Now the adapter here is not color coded, but if it had been, you would of course match the blue wire from the wire that you got to the blue wire on the adapter. I also have to take off the ends so I can connect the plug, and I don't think that there is any particular order except that the grounding goes in the middle, and then the brown and the blue will go to each of the prongs of the connector. So there are 3 points here that you need to connect, and then you can finish it off. Essentially, because my plug that I got with the light wasn't color coded, I wasn't really paying much attention. Only the grounding was color coded, the middle wire. So of course I did pay attention to that, but the rest of it, no. However, some lights will be color coded, and then of course you just follow that. And before I tape it up, I check always if my lights are working, because it's pretty annoying to put electrical tape over this chandelier clamp and then you have to take it off if you didn't properly connect it. But I typically do properly connect everything. Sometimes though the connection isn't right and I have to just adjust it a bit, but you know, that's why I check it before I put the tape here. Okay, we are back. I did have to change my shirt because I decided to go downtown to buy some hydrogen peroxide for this part, which I now decided I'm not going to use. We love to do that stuff here. So I am going to unpot the begonias, the new begonias that I've shown you. I haven't looked at them in a couple of weeks, so I don't know what they look like. Are they dehydrated or not? But I'm going to try something new here. And I need to unpot them, remove the old mix that they arrived in, and that is because this lady that I get begonias from and gesnerians from has a bit of an issue with root mealies. I don't know if they come from, I do believe they do come from her. I don't think that they come from nothing. So probably she has an issue someplace that she doesn't even know because she propagates them so fast for sale and stuff. So I will take a look at these, remove all the old soil, and then I want to treat them. And I thought to do this in a hydrogen peroxide mixed with water, but I decided against it because I had a recent mishap with hydrogen peroxide, and even though I previously did treat my begonias with hydrogen peroxide with a mix of hydrogen peroxide and water, and it seemed fine, I don't know, I think maybe we can do something better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a diluted Azamax. I don't have Azamax exactly, it's called Nimbicidin here. What I have, it is weaker than Azamax, but one of my subscribers, and I will just tell you what she told me, Caroline Baines, I use ½ an ounce per gallon for 8 weeks straight. A friend of mine used 2 ounces, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about your friend. I'm joking, we do. We do. And she said, since your stuff is less potent anyway, you should be fine. Neither of us had any bad reactions with the plants, and both of us don't have any bugs. She was dealing with mites, and the other one was dealing with root mealies, her friend. And she says, I do this because she has over 900 plants, right? And it's impossible to treat them all. And then I looked up on Google. General hydroponics, I think they don't say specifically that you can use Azamax as a soil drench. They don't claim that it works, but they don't say that you can't. On Reddit, people say that begonias do tolerate Azamax to an extent, but the absolutely atrocious AI overview that I hate from Google says that it can be used in begonias to control various pests, and they say essentially Azamax works as a repellent, anti-feedant, right? And it disturbs their growth, the insect growth, but they say you can use it as a foliar spray or soil drench. So 1 to 2 ounces per gallon of water. And they say considerations for begonias, because I typed Azamax plus begonia, right? They said, AI told me, begonias, especially those with hairy leaves, may be more sensitive to neem oil-based products like Azamax. and this is for spraying. They also say it may affect plants' roots. But because I was gonna use hydrogen peroxide, that would probably also, any type of unpotting, removing all the potting mix is gonna affect roots to an extent. But anyway, let's take a look at my begonias. They seem fine-ish. They are definitely a little bit on the moist side here. And we gotta do this quickly because they have been in the terrarium and, well, in the terrarium, they've been in this box here. I don't see any presence of root mealybugs on the bottom. Well, that they just tipped over. Oh, the light. The light is leaving us. Please stay on. I don't see any presence here. I do see some small things on the bottom that are moving, but they're moving really fast, so I do believe these are some form of springtails. I don't think these are root mealybugs. They're all gonna go in a separate terrarium. We have Mumtaz. They're all doing well. They kind of look like it tipped over, okay? It tipped over and it was like that for days. And now she has that. I should be shot and punished. And then some of the other ones, they've been touching the side of this box too, so I don't prefer that. I don't know, I don't see necessarily presence of mealybugs, but there is something fast moving, but they don't move fast. So I do believe these are the springtails. I don't know. I will move you here in a bit. This one is Hushi, Atrica spotted. So pretty. Anyway, let's quickly do this. This one is blooming though, so I want to show you again. Ignita. She has an orange flower, which I think is exceptional. Okay, and slightly recovered, but still crappy Muhara, Wahau. She never writes their names well. She's kind of looks like crap still. This one is probably gonna be too big. Yep, she's gonna be too big. I'll have to cut this. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I actually managed to straighten her up, but I will definitely have to cut this Epitella, or once again, I'm not really sure about the pronunciation of these. Because these have aerial roots, I think I'm just gonna cut them and pot them. Let's just put this prop box aside, lower you a bit, and we gotta work real fast here. This one can probably stay outside of the terrarium for longer, and maybe I'll put them back in that box. Let's start with this that kind of looks a little bit crappy. I will wash away the soil too, and then the mix that I use is slightly different than hers. Yoy, dear Lord. This is very, very wet. I only watered them once. Oh, if you could hear this. It's making that noise. Ooh, disgusting. But considering how wet this is, I'm just surprised that there is nothing here. Anyway, about the Azamax thing. So, 1/2 ounce per gallon. I need to check for my people, my European people. How much is that? That is 14.7 milliliters per 3.7 liters. So, oh, I broke the leaf off. Oh no. Oh no. Well, if she wasn't in for a trim, why did she come to me? I do hope this one starts looking nicer. She's really weird looking. She looked much nicer in photos. Now, I will not go crazy with removing the soil because I will wash this too, and that will help. But we will have to be quick, so I will not be filming all of it because of how quick I need to be. Once you take begonias out of the terrarium, it's like a bomb. You have several minutes. Well, not several minutes, but like they really tend to crab themselves pretty fast. And sometimes it's fine, and sometimes it's not. I definitely recently had a thing where I kind of left some of my begonias outside of the terrarium while I was cleaning it, and they spent half a day, and well, they don't look like a begonia anymore. It looks like an empty pot full of crap. They can grow fantastically, you know, in the terrarium without much care. The ones next to me, I don't give them much care, but once you take them out of the terrarium, now I should do something with my hands in terms of like sterilizing them. However, people ask me this all the time, won't pest transfer? Honestly, they all probably transferred by now, you know, so I am going to handle the next one as well. They're all going to get treated. If there is something in one pot, it's everywhere, just to maybe a lesser extent. I still don't see root mealies, which is a good sign. Number 2, no root mealies. Maybe she solved her issue. But I do find that if I let these stay in this mix for too long, they do tend to develop them. We'll see. We'll see how Azamax/Nimbicidin will work. I'm not going to spray them. I will try also not to shower them. I will just do swish in the tray with water. A good thing about begonias compared to Hoyas is that they will very quickly recover the roots. The roots will grow incredibly fast, because they all eventually seem to get root mealybugs. It's just keep propagating forever. And they propagate really fast and really easy in the terrarium type setting, right? In a prop box, super easy. The ones that I at least saved for myself. So this one seems fine. That's good. I have to remember all the names. This one really needs to be trimmed back. Oh, she has a lot of roots. No mealybugs on the outside, which is surprising because they have been here for a couple of months. Maybe they developed them in the terrarium for some reason. It could be that somehow they fall, because you listen, those gesneriids, which definitely have root mealybugs, are above the terrarium, so maybe somehow they do fall from that in the terrarium. I don't know. I will be removing those gesneriids. We'll see if that helps. Because I don't think I have root mealybugs on the rest of them. I checked them relatively recently and they seem fine. They did have them previously. Now they seem okay. All of those were restarted that you saw in that small terrarium next to me. I guess I got rid of them. I don't know. If this works, I will then water more frequently with Nimbicidin. The problem is, I do have some Hoyas that are not in self-watering, so do I just water them with Azamax and leave it? Caroline, what do I do? This one has a lot of roots too. This one is so pretty, unbelievable. Very dry. I mean, not very dry, it's quite wet. But it's not quite wet, it's moist. It's, you know, it's a level of moisture that I typically wouldn't water, but for a begonia, I think this is quite dry. She'd probably like, and you can see how she kind of droops a little, she would like a little bit more water now. One day, when all of these begonias prove that they don't have any mealybugs, root mealybugs, I would like to do a bit of a switcheroo and, you know, make a different combination, you know, kind of mix them in between. So I didn't see any root mealybugs on the other ones. It does seem to me like this could be root mealybugs on this one. What do we think? But that also means that other ones have them too, doesn't it? Just this one spot here. What do we think? Mold? Root mealybugs? Suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Oh my goodness. I loved Parks and Rec. Let's slowly dig in. It's unusual for them to appear on the top. They would typically start from the bottom. And I don't see anything, so it really just could be nothing. So this one is going to be in the water last. But that's really the only spot where I see some indication that potentially we could have root mealies, but I don't think so. I will make that Azamax mix, but first, I'll wash these in water, let them dry a little bit, and then pot them, by that time, I guess this will be night. It will be dark, and we might have to continue some of this tomorrow for the video. I completely forgot. I need to connect the lights. Okay, we will definitely continue this tomorrow because we're not gonna make all of that today. Also, why am I repotting in white pants? Why am I repotting it? What? Why am I repotting in white pants? Miro. Oh, linen white pants. I do make bad choices. I really do. We are back and we are ready to apply the Nimbicidin. And I did some math. It's 4 milliliters per liter. That's the solution that we will be using, which corresponds to the one that I got from Caroline, but also it actually corresponds to the recommendations on the bottle too. I have my water here. We have 3 liters. However, for whatever reason, and don't ask me why, do not ask me why, they say that you should first add the product and then water. Don't know why this is. I'm not a chemist. I have no idea, but I will listen to them. I will use the gloves for this part because I will be soaking these. This part is completely experimental of the video. I do not recommend that you follow my instructions. I try out things here so you don't have to. So like I F up, so you don't have to F up, right? That's why you watch the channel, I presume. I just need to get another of those boxes. Bought these at Lidl. I have to show this because this is the best purchase, which is kind of sad, but this is really the best purchase of 2025 for me, honestly. So this is like 20 bucks, 18 euros in Lidl. You get 3 big boxes, which are like a prop box. And I thought that was it. And I thought that was a good deal. But lo and behold, my surprise, when I opened this and there's like 3 more, or maybe 2 more like this, right? For tiny propagations or for this experiment, right? And then there are also 3 like this. So we're just gonna use this one and add the product first. We need about 12 milliliters. This has only 5 on it. Let's just see how much is in a cap. Maybe that's 4 milliliters. Wouldn't that be convenient? This indeed is 4. Is this common knowledge? Are these caps always the dosers? Maybe they are. So we need 12. That's 8. And there we go. I don't know, this does look oily, but when I end up using it, it doesn't leave like oily residue. It's gonna turn white as I start to add water. By the way, I did pH water to about 6, between 6 and 6.5. I pH'd down. This is RO water and distilled water. We're not feeding the plants, we're just doing this treatment. Oh my gosh. Even if you use paraffin oil, the water will turn white. I don't know if this is a normal reaction. I just don't know anything. But let's just do the treatment. So let's soak the plant. I'm gonna try not to get the leaves wet. And this is not going to work as a systemic because I'm just dipping them very quickly here. Let's do the other ones. A little bit afraid for this one, but ooh. No, oh, she went in. Okay, she went in. Let me just place her here. Oh, okay, she's really just going all the way in. We'll see. I've never done this. I did water some Hoyas with this and there has been no effect, but as we all have noticed, Begonias and Hoyas are not the same. So I'm just gonna keep this soaking for about several minutes. Very quickly we will be done. And then I'm gonna let them dry a bit and then pot them. I also wanted to tell you a little story. Oh my God, this is such tea. You won't believe what happened. As you know, I passed my driving test and I'm looking for a car. And I think I told you in my last video, I'm looking to spend about 5,000 to 6,000 euros on a used car, like 15 years old. I think that's pretty fair, right? And well, I can go a little bit over 6 eventually, I think, when I sell my old camera, because I got it fixed recently. But I'd rather not. I'd rather stay within this range, and I'm looking for petrol, not diesel, because of all the potential issues that can come with diesel, etc. Hybrids out of question with that age, etc. And I was looking into Mazda 3, Toyota Auris, or, I mean, that's now Corolla. It used to be Corolla, then they changed it to Auris and again to Corolla here in Europe. I don't really know. But the 2010, the 2010 one, or like a Honda Civic, but that's pretty hard to find. Anyway, so several weeks ago, I see an ad for a Mazda 3, 2011, I think. It was in my town. It was black, and it was looking really, really good. And unfortunately, it sold within a couple of days. I still don't have the money collected anyway. So, you know, whatever. And just yesterday, I saw, because, you know, I memorized how the house looks like, because I was wondering, where is this? Because it's a pretty small town, right? And then I saw yesterday another ad in same house, a white one this time, a diesel. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get diesel anyway. But excellent condition, right? And I was like, who is this? First of all, where is this? So I got very creepy. I'm very creepy. Okay, I looked at the house. I'm like, this looks like something where I know this. I just know this street. So I kind of got on Google Maps, Google Street View, and I did find the house pretty quickly because I sort of felt like it has to be in this general area, right? And I find the house, and I was like, because my mom knows a lot of people. I'm like, do we know who this is? And she didn't know. But I told her, you know, in this same street, couple of houses down, lives the son of your former friend. I mean, her friend passed away. She was quite old, her colleague from work. And she called him to ask if he knows who that is, and he did. Turns out it's the son of another of her former colleagues who also became a hairdresser and made cakes, and she did all sorts of things, and was in Austria because she has a family there, etc. But anyway, turns out it is her estranged son, who I know. He's a couple of years older than me, and he knows my mom, etc. So I was like, let's give him a call. You know, let's ask if it's possible for him, because it seems that he's importing these cars from the EU. Let's see if it's possible for him to find me a car that's gonna be petrol, right? So anyway, I give him a call, and he, you know, he remembers me. We haven't seen each other in a while. And it's like, yeah, no issue. I can definitely find you a car, not a problem. Yada yada. How much money are you looking to spend? I tell him like I'd prefer up to 6,000, you know, which I don't have. No one needs to know yet. So I was like, okay, great. And he told me, I'm going to let you know today what I can find. Like, that's kind of freaking quick. It's like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? But then I tell my sister, because we were wondering who this is, and she told me, absolutely out of the question. I know him. He fixes up totaled cars. Absolutely not. You're not going to get anything from him. And I'm like, you're always so negative. Come on, be positive for once, and like, you know, stop being negative. Like, because I understood that he's gonna send me the ad, because he's like, I know that he's gonna charge me a lot more than what that car costs in the EU, right? I'm not dumb. There's importing fees, etc. He has to earn. Like, I understand. Typically, it's gonna be at least 50% more expensive. I'm not dumb. Even though he said, I'm gonna get you such a good deal because, you know, whatever, we know each other, and then you're just gonna treat me. So I was like, okay, whatever, like, yeah, let's see what he finds. And I told my sister, like, listen, I didn't give him any money, you know, it's just like, let's see what he comes up with. And he messages me, but he only tells me, you know, via the text, oh, I found you a good one, 2011, it's gonna be 5.3K euros, which is probably close to 5.5 or even 6 maybe K dollars. 2011, black, 173,000 kilometers on it, which is apparently good for a used car. Over this age, 14 years. It's like, you can bring me the money tomorrow, half of it tomorrow, and then, next week another half, and I'm like, what? I'm not there yet. So it's like, okay, well, can I see some photos, right? And he replies to something unrelated, and I was like, what about the photos though, right? And then he sends me the photos, and it's like, and he tells me, you're gonna get deep cleaning for this price, etc. It's tip top condition, great, perfect, mint. I look at the photo. Dear mealybug, whatever, dear Lord. The back, so first it's like from the side, from the back, another side, inside, but like a very, you can only see the dials on the inside. And first of all, it looks dirty, which is fine, I don't care. That's not, but like, where's the photo from the front? Like from the back it looks okayish, it looks dirty, but where's the photo from the front? And instantly I'm like, oh, red flag, a big red flag. So I kind of go through the photos again to try to see if from the side I can see a bit of the front, because I already know you're hiding something from me. And I zoom in, I'll show you. The entire front is missing. Like, you can see the entire front is missing, and it looks like the hood is also deformed, right? 5.3K euros, not dollars. And okay, I've been Googling, I've been looking on forums, etc. And it seems that like in Serbia, a lot of the cars that come from EU have been damaged, have been hit, and some less, some more. It's obviously different when you park and hit like a pole or whatever, or when you are at an actual car accident. I understand. It's much different. One is minor, other one is a pretty big issue, can be a pretty big issue, right? I'm not looking for something without scratches or anything, but it would be nice if it would have a front part. But the thing is, he would totally cover it up. He would get the front part, the bumper, and he's gonna get it. He actually told me that he's gonna get this car anyway, because obviously I told no. And then in the ads, they write, just like new, mint condition, low mileage, non-smoking, driven by a grandma in a village or something like that, someone who really takes care of the car. But they deep clean it, they change the parts. You can sometimes even see there's one white one, and you can see the hood is different white than the rest of the car, just slightly off, right? And it's clear that something has happened. Deep wash, like deep clean the entire thing. I'm always suspicious when I see really 15-year-old car, not a single tiny scratch, not even in the bumper. Come on, I was not. There is an expression in Serbia. I don't know if this is an expression anywhere else, but I wasn't sucking on oars, like the rowing oar, right? At first I was like, what the heck are you trying to? And me, he knows me. What the fuck are you trying to do here? I told him, well, it's not exactly mint condition, is it? It's not exactly tip-top condition, is what I said, because he used the word tip-top. Not exactly tip-top, is it? Because we can see that the front part is missing. It's like, yeah, well, it just got a bit scratched. And if it got a bit scratched, you wouldn't take off the entire front bumper. But okay. Anyway, so I said no to him. He told me, in about 10 days, I'm gonna find something for you. Just be patient. I'm like, no. I mean, I told him, whatever, okay. But whatever he writes, I'm gonna tell him, yeah, I decided not to buy a car. I mean, I'm gonna lie, obviously. But he lied first. The issue is, a lot of them do this here, so I'm actually now pretty scared to get a car. I'm gonna try to find someone who bought it here in the country, new, 15 years ago. Very, very few. There's only one Mazda 3 like that, no Toyota Auruses like that, no Honda Civics like that. I don't want a Renault, I don't want maybe Volkswagen, I don't want Opel, no Ford, sorry Americans, I don't want Ford. But it's just crazy, because again, he freaking knows me, and he did this. So yeah, it's just shit. I don't want to sell a cutting of a plant that might had mealybugs, or that had like one mealybug in the past 6 weeks and had no mealybug since, or like I just saw a mealybug once. Like, I'm not selling any plants. People are asking, like, no, I'm not selling them. I know that I like talk about mealybugs a lot here, but my infestation is actually pretty mild. You know, a couple of mealybugs here and there, but of course I take care to treat everything because I know it can get really bad. But it's like, I don't want to sell for 10 bucks a cutting, because I like, what if there is a mealybug? You know, I would feel really bad. And then there's this person who wants to take 5.3K out of you from your pocket. That's pretty hard-earned money, you know? And it's like, he doesn't care that he's gonna sell you a total car and pretend that it's new. He doesn't care. And I don't want to live my life thinking that everyone out there is trying to trick me. I really don't like that thinking. But apparently, they are. I don't know. Anyway, pretty disappointing. And of course, I can't afford a new one. New ones are like 20K. That's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a like pretty interesting story. I was like so shook yesterday. So shook. Again, I know people do this, but I don't know. I'm like, I'm honest with everyone and I accept everyone to be honest with me. Clearly, that's not the case. So anyway, we're going to pot these Hoyas in about 10 minutes, I think. Just let them dry a little bit more and we can pot them, water them, and they can be terrariumed. Tip-top condition, tip-top. Liar, pants on fire. I'm gonna pot them in these pots from Timo that I get. They're pretty cheap and perfect size for begonias. I'm gonna use my regular mix that I switched to for begonias because it works really great. It's peat and perlite and vermiculite. I have a bunch of peat that I have never used, and I was like, let's give it a go because it's just sitting there, and turns out it's great. Another great thing, I have so much of it that I will never have to buy it anyway again, but I can just use it on these begonias. So, see, the roots are just like icky. That's just what happens when you wash away the potting mix, but I'm gonna leave it like that, pot them, and I will water them. So let's just speed things up. This one is actually probably not gonna fit in the draw box. Okay, I don't even know if you can see anything. This is the most awkward aerial repotting, and I will keep you updated how they go. I actually have some Hoyas that I need to treat. One Hoya Bruno, Lacunosa tricolor Bruno, that I need to treat for root mealybugs. Don't know how she got them. She arrived with no roots. I rooted it, never shared water. Nothing around her ever had root mealybugs. So I really don't know. I am confused and I am angry, but she does have them. And now I think I have little goblins or something that keeps giving me root mealybugs. Just like little root mealybug fairies is what I have in my room. I've concluded. Let's do the last one. And with that, we conclude the begonia repotting. Next thing we do, after I water them, I'll put them in a terrarium and hook up the lights. That is all for this segment. I gotta charge my camera, gotta take a walk, and see you in the next segment. We are back for the last day of this whole shenanigan thing. I definitely need to finish this project today, and it's gonna be still a lot of work. I hope this was gonna be a one-day ordeal, but it wasn't. So we did have a mishap yesterday with this terrarium, and it happened exactly what I knew was going to happen. The lids fell into the terrarium onto my begonias. They, one of the lids, because it's two. And the glass also kind of cracked. Also, like, can we just see how with the big terrarium, the other big terrarium that he made, that I just cleaned, the one over here, you can't really see it, he made good lids. These, what the heck? Can we see they're not aligning? Not only they're not aligning, they're also not rectangles at all. And one of them fell in because, as I said, it's just such a tight fit. There's barely any space, and then if you kind of hit the shelf a bit, you know, it just falls in. So what I think I will do maybe later today, if I have the time, I will go and try to find one of those cable management canals that are U-shaped, and then they come with the lid and they are sticky on one side. So I might take like small 4 parts for each of these corners, like just this big, and then when I put it on, it will just keep it in place. But yeah, actually one of these pieces broke as it fell in, which is lovely. We love that. Now there is like edge here. We can see that is broken there. Somehow not sharp, but very much annoying. Very much annoying. So I'm going to clean this terrarium today. Both of them, they haven't been cleaned. We see there's some plant stuff in here, plant leaves. Thankfully, begonias are okay because the stems are not so firm, right? So they kind of bended under the weight. And there was also a lot of begonias, so they kind of, if there was only a couple, they would have been gone. They would have been pancaked. And these are a little bit pancaked, but nothing seems to be broken. Some leaves are damaged, and the glass did get scratched as it fell. Glass scratched glass, but you know, what are you gonna do? I knew this was gonna happen, and I guess I should have done something about it sooner, but it really did not occur to me that this was a solution. It just occurred to me yesterday, wait, I can kind of do that. Use these cable organizing canals. So I'm gonna, quite big. Oh, shit, that's heavy. Okay. I'm gonna move it out of the way, clean it, but this time we're not gonna do it in the bathtub. I'm just gonna do it in the room because I definitely broke the other one. I'm gonna take apart this shelf level because it's gonna be easier to screw the lights in. So the lights are connected with an extremely long cable, despite the plug being right there. Always love to make a long cable. Who knows where I'm gonna use the light next. As I said, these are not tremendously strong. These are only 9 watts. So they're quite weak, but I think that's just gonna be enough for the begonias. Let's try it out again. Because I find that begonias really don't need a tremendous amount of light. They even look better in slightly lower light. For me, the Queen constellation looked very, it didn't look as dark as it should look. See, yeah, see, there is like some difference. Yeah, but it's not tremendous. So it's good. I think this is just gentle enough for the begonias. We will just attach it. Oh, okay. Let's not take down the entire shelf. Let's just eyeball this. Use your hand to measure. Okay, and the light, sometimes it's a little bit hard to get these in. Oh, it's not. You would never know that I didn't measure this. Let's just try out everything before I push the shelf in to see if everything works. It does. Okay, so here is sort of the finished look of the shelf that Wanda reflowered. We're gonna make a spotlight video on Wanda's, but not quite yet. So here's what this looks like currently. And we have 3 Begonia terrariums. I put some Hoya here, my Florida Beauty ended up there, and then only some orchids here. Now, we can't really see much in these terrariums except that some of these begonias are still limp. They do look a little bit wilted. I'm not quite sure why this is. It could be due to the treatment. Maybe they need to be watered a little bit. This one did lift her leaves, which does make me happy, but you know, begonias can be a bit dramatic like that. I did have to put some of these here to sort of increase the overall humidity, but yeah, they are looking limp. They've been like this for about a week because this video took forever and I'm not entirely happy with that. So I think I will water them thoroughly and see where that brings us, but maybe it's time to take a cutting and try to root some of them, but you know, that's okay because they typically grow fast. This one did lift a little bit, but you know, this leaf, for example, has been sitting pretty low. But this one I think looks the worst, which I actually wanted to cut anyway, so hey, maybe that's a good thing. I mostly ended up putting verticillatas here. I don't know if I'm going to keep all of them. So this one had mealybugs and these 2 plants also had mealybugs. And the reason why this took so long is because I found mealybugs on these Hoyas in the window. So I treated everything. They all got watered with azadirachtin. So we will see if that works. And we have Preecti here. This very, very red AH041, I believe this is. These were in my southeast facing window and they really have not grown much since last year. I think the sun was just way too intense. I'm hitting my head on the Wanda, so if you hear any additional banging, that's that. But this verticillata is about to rebloom. I will check them. I really would not put them together if they were not all affected by mealies. And then Florida Beauty that does need to get watered is here. I needed to lower the light for her because she used to be up here and that was just way too much light because we do have a grow light there, so we will have to sort it out. We have my Herscheliana variegated here and a lacunosa. Still, we need to work on this, but that's for the future video. So yeah, I only left 1 orchid here, 1 Paphiopedilum, and I moved a grow light that was on the side. This is Sansi light. I moved it here. I don't think it does much for these, but you know. And then this orchid did remain here, cascading. We don't have anything on this still. We are propagating a Breviremosa here. So I'm not gonna show you this. These are some of the begonias that still don't look great. A lot of them, as you can see, have been in low light, so the growth doesn't look the best. I think I need to put 1 more shelf level here, just so I can bring the light closer to them. And I don't even have to put anything on that shelf for now. I just need to bring the light closer to them, 1 of these 2. It's too far away. I don't think it's doing them much good. And then here I just put my Spathiphyllum, that Phalaenopsis, and some Paphiopedilums. I will work on this section more. I really did not have time to do that now. And I will rework this window and I will put Hoyas up here as well. So we still need to work on this. I will most likely get rid of some of these Finlaysoni types. These 2. This one is going to stay. That's Jennifer. I think I'm going to put Species Germany next to her. And then the AH074 I think is going to have to go. So that's about that. This terrarium is looking pretty nice. That beautiful big queen constellation is looking really, really well, but I did not add anything here. I just sort of relieved this terrarium of its overcrowdedness, and you can see it's getting misty in there. So essentially that's where we are at. I would love to do much more with this shelf, and I will in the future, but we gotta end this video here. I will work on this shelf and that window in the future. I will do something like that. You can see how I hang Hoyas there, which we will unhaul some of these that are there. We will unhaul some of those and move some from the tent there. And all of that is a topic for the future video. This Nepenthes is not gonna live here, though I do kind of like it, but it's gonna be way too annoying. It lives there. I was just showing it yesterday to my friend. By the way, we have some orchids reblooming here too, so that's nice. A very dry Nepenthes up there, so I will water those too. But yeah, that is all for this video. I will see you in the next one, and have a wonderful day. Also, incredibly sorry that I'm so late with this. I would like to take some time to thank all my patrons for their incredible support. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons, my 2 anonymous patrons, Adriana, Anna Malia, Alex von Siebenhal, Anne Margaret Munn, Angela Bernard, Anna P. Aspen Drake, Betsy, Brett Noble, Catherine Molina, Cheyenne O'Hear, Connie Pagano, Daniela Danube Daniels, Diane Sikorsky, Dipanjali Rao, Ether W, Elena Saxon, Ellen, Farah, Ferdis Verdance, Francis Wilkins, Gathering Moss, Gina Geisig, Rositz Kyle, Growing Nurse, Hannah Matlin, Hoji Scott, Yana Griffin, Jessica Chio, Jody T. Gomez, Jonas Barr, Hjorth Larson, Kara, Catherine P., Casey Gross, Kelso, Kimberly Polka, Kiwi Mochi, Christy Ehrlich, Ella Lindberg, Lee Mooney, Luka Zerchevsky, Mandy Milliken, Marcella Har, Marina Yarmolich, Marty Miller, Marie Zakova, Melissa Walker, Michelle Herod, Mirko Grun Roos, MJW, Moa Edmund, Miss Seidenhar, Nelly Yang, Niha, Nicole Moreau, Nina Nguyen, Nita Macy, Odette, PJ Plan Druid, Sykes Zara, Rachel Peterson, Rebecca, Renee Church, Sharon Bones, Starla Van Lith, Subi Cordecangas, Tessa Martins, Thomas Marsden, Tia B, Trista Bailey, Tristan Thomas, Van Eilian, Xenia Green, Youth of the Walmut, Zaira Rivera, Zordorama, Zlokub Niponi, and a flower. A big thank you to my $3 patrons: Karen Cologne Constance, Daryl Del Rosario, Eden Corlett, Holly Borner, Joanna, KPZ, Lindsay Ann, Maria Isabel, Monica Wykers, Ringlov, Tang Watanas Cool, VH, www.myhoya.shop. And a thank you to my $1 patrons: Alice Borlin, Andrew G. and C., Brandon Pacheco, Catherine Molina, Couture Helvetica, Emilia Bronson, Jolie Sullivan, Julie Lafford, Kayla Vavra, Kelly Ash, Kelly Gallagher, Chris Perez, Laura E. Jackson, Laura in the Tugboat Plants, Lori Ann Subramaniam, Luzmin Fernandez, Marga F. V., Marie Diamond, Mary Rose, Neely Spicer, Nerdy Kathy, Olivia Chin Mueller, Pacific NW Plant Lady, and Steph Fox.